Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, 23 Flavors of Stitching. My name is Kirsten and today is going to be my 2025 WIP parade. It'll be my end of year WIP parade. If you are just finding my channel for the first time, hi! Thank you for coming. Hopefully you'll stick around and hopefully you'll like some of my projects or seeing my progress on some of my projects. I have not prepped for this very much. I have every single one of my projects here, but I haven't taken things out of hoops or anything like that. So that might just happen as we go. And yeah. If you would be interested in a finish parade, I can definitely do that as well, of everything that I've finished this year, but let's get started. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I do have all of my works in progress written down in chronological order, but I think I will probably just go as I grab them. So we might just start, here's my basket, but I might just start with what's around me because this is not very organized. But let's get started, and my list will just be so that I know that I hit every single one. So first, let me pull up a PDF. Okay. It is Halloween Quaker by Leela's Studio. I am stitching it on 18 Count Haunted by Seraphim Fabrics. And I'm using a mixture of the called for colors and some of my own conversions. Like I'm doing a little bit brighter of a green than what was called for. And then I also switched out like the color for this motif to one that I had just in my stash. Same with the purple, the orange, same thing. Anyway, and also the white. I'm using a different white. And I haven't worked on it a lot. I started it in 2022 and I started on the witch and I kind of got bored of her and kind of frustrated with her. So this Halloween, what I did was I finished the broom and then I started the hat and I said, I am going to find a way to finish this one way or another, and if it's that I have to stitch the witch last, then so be it, but at least I had a starting point. Okay. Next up is Sharks and Minnows by Forbidden Fiber Co. It is from Yellowstone. Oh, sorry, that was very shaky. And it's WIP, and it says there's sharks and minnows in this world. If you don't know which one you are, you ain't a shark. In the show, there's a little bit more colorful language. But this one came as a kit, so I'm using all of the kit things. The fabric is 16 Count Palomino by Forbidden Fiber Co. And this one I save for like sewing nights or road trips or watching a show, so that I don't have to count. I am doing a lot of fill-in. And this fabric, I feel like you can't really tell on camera, but it's kind of like a light orangey, reddy color, and I really like it. You will also notice that most of my projects are on Ada. I really like Ada. I don't want to have to bother with like counting over 2. For my brain, it just makes sense with Ada, and so that's what I stick with. I do have a couple of full coverage pieces, which you'll see, that are on smaller counts because I stitched those over 1. Okay, next up is Plum Street Samplers Cinnamon Stars. And I am doing mostly the DMC conversion with a few overdyes and then also an anchor floss. And I am stitching this on 16 count Vintage Country Cafe Mocha. It's a mouthful. And here's where we're at. I, again, started on the house, wasn't loving it, so I started working on the stars and the flowers and the pumpkins instead, and I just couldn't put it down after that. So this is one of my favorite neutral fabrics. And I'd like to get it finished in time for next fall or within next fall, because I stitch in the season. I don't stitch before the season. And then next, this is, oh, it's not in. Okay. Praiseworthy Stitches Simple Gifts Christmas. And I'm stitching it on 18 count light oatmeal Aida with my own conversion. This was the first project that I ever kitted up at an LNS, and my LNS didn't have the called for colors, so what I decided to do was just pick 3 that were similar that I thought went well together, and I picked Gentle Arts Wheatfields, Otter Creek, and Weathered Barn. And here is where we're at. I'm working on the T right now. That's where the hoop last was. I will probably, I just started something new and I kind of want to get more on there, but I will probably bring this out a couple more times before Christmas ends, or maybe even after. We are traveling for Christmas this year, and this might be one that I bring with me because I have it as a paper pattern and it's minimal colors. And I started this in 2021. Cinnamon Stars I also started in 2021. Okay, I started a lot of things in 2021. Was that was the year that I turned 25, and I wanted to do 25 starts for my 25th birthday. Most of my starts I have UFO'd since then, but it's okay. All right, up next, let me see if I have this cover photo picture anywhere. This is Gather Here by Hello from Liz Matthews. I'm stitching it on 18 count light oatmeal Aida, and I'm using a Gentle Arts wrought iron, which is a bluish black. And this is still in the hoop, and I'm gonna leave it there, sorry, but this is what it looks like. So the last thing I worked on was this part of the bird, that wing, and then also this leaf up here. This I also would like to get done by next fall or during next fall. This is an easy one to take places because it's just the one color. I love Hello from Liz Matthews. Yeah. I just love her stuff. I have lots of her designs. Do I have them going or I have them done or both? Okay. And that one I started also in 2021. Okay. Up next, sorry for the zippers. Up next is my Books of 2025 project. I am caught up, except for 3. I need to stitch 3 squares, and then I'll be all caught up. I honestly don't know if I'll read any more books in 2025, but if I do, then I'll add them somewhere. And basically what I did with this, I'm stitching it on 18 count white opalescent Aida, and I'm stitching it with all sulky threads. My husband got me the Dream assortments 1 and 2 probably in 2021 for my birthday or 2020, and I just never used them. I never substituted them for anything, and so I was like, I should do a project where I can use all those, and this was that project. So basically what I did, someone, and I feel so bad that I can't remember who it is, she did granny squares for every book that she finished in 2024. And she would pick 3 colors from the cover of the book that she read, and that's what she would use to do the granny squares. So I did that, but in cross-stitch form, because I am a novice crocheter, and I don't like granny squares. And I also don't have that much yarn, but I do have that much thread. So these are the books that I've read, and 3 colors from the covers. And then I have them all written down with their sulky colors that I pick. Okay. Ooh, this one is a modern folk embroidery that I should really finish because it's pretty small. And this is Let's Be Kind. I wonder if I have... This is how Jacob did it. I am doing it on 18 count light oatmeal Aida with a Roxy floss. It is Violet Woods. And I love purple. Purple is my favorite color, but I have come to realize that most of the patterns I pick don't have purple. So I have an abundance of pretty purple floss that I just adore, but I don't have any patterns to stitch them with. And so I decided to turn this into a purple project. And yeah, it'll fit in the hoop. Okay. That one I started this year, 2025. Okay. Up next, this is Miami by Awesome Pattern Studio. I started this in 2021. I haven't worked on it since I started it. This is 16 count lamb's wool Aida, and I am using the called for DMC. There it is. My idea with these, I have a few done, is I would like to stitch a lot of the places that I've been, and turn them into quilt blocks and then turn it into a quilt. We'll see how many I get done and if I ever do it, but that was the original idea. Okay, this next one is one that I am thinking about UFOing this year, actually, because I haven't touched it since I started it, and while it is beautiful, I never think about it, and when I do think about it, I don't want to stitch on it. This is Long Dog Samplers Quilted Bees, and it's beautiful. And I saw Evelyn from Evelyn Across the Pond work on it, and that's where I got my idea, but I really think that I am going to UFO this because it doesn't bring me joy. And this is on 16 count white chocolate. And I think I was using most of the called for, but there were some colors in the called for that just didn't work, so I switched them out. But again, if I'm UFOing it, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Next is one that I really need to start working on again. This is Move Forward in Love by Modern Folk Embroidery, and I am using a Forbidden Fiber Co. conversion. And Jacob started this as a Pride Sal, and I was stitching it for one of my sisters-in-law. But I have since stitched other things for her. Anyway, I'd like to get this done. I think she would like it. She said that she really liked the pattern, but yeah, I don't know. I'm doing the monochrome pattern, but in the Move Forward in Love, I was going to do them in the rainbow colors for her, instead of doing the rainbow colorway. Let me see if I can find a picture for that. So this is the rainbow colorway. And where's the... I don't have... Okay. I don't have the other cover photo, but basically instead of having that center medallion filled in, it's just the words Move Forward in Love. Anyway, I don't know if she would still like it, which is one reason why I'm kind of hesitant to continue stitching it. I feel like stitching for gifts is really hard. And I've stitched other things for her that I think she likes more. Anyway. Next up is, let me see. Sorry if that was loud. That I originally started in 2022 or 2023. Was it the 2023 stitch one? Let's double check that actually. It was the Pride Sale in 2022. So I believe I started it in 2022 and then I restarted it in the monochrome colorway in 2024. Okay, this next one is Spring Awakens by Summerhouse Stitchworks, and it looks really easy, and then you start stitching it and it's not as easy as you think. And I started this in 2024, and I am doing I'm not doing the called for, but I am doing ones that I think match the cover photo a little bit better. I am using DMC 680, 924, and 20. And I am stitching it on Picture This Plus Fog. And I think I got enough fabric to be able to do all 4 of them on this. Summer Refreshes, Spring Awakens, Autumn Provides, and Winter something. That's what that looks like. I should probably take this out of the hoop because I don't even know the last time I worked on it, actually. Okay. This is also kind of a tricky one where I was really excited to start it and now it doesn't bring me a lot of joy, but maybe one day it will. Okay. Next is One Nation by Bygone Stitches. This is the American flag with the states in the order that they joined the Union. So many people have done this and it's absolutely beautiful. And this is another one that I like to work on during road trips and stuff like that because it's a lot of fill-in. This, I'm stitching on 18 count Coffee Tea Dyed Ada by me. I believe it's 18 count. And yeah. That's where we're at. I moved it to a nerd hoop so that I could work on more surface area of the project. I had it in a Q-snap before, and Q-snaps I have found aggravate my wrist. So yeah, moved to a nerd hoop. I haven't had any issues since with my wrist. And yeah, I would like to, like, whenever I finish one of these smaller stripes moving forward, I would like to work on a couple stars, or as I move my hoop, just work on a few stars. But yeah. I love this project. I will be really sad when it's done, and I think that's partly why I haven't worked on it, is because I love working on it. But I also really want the finished product in my home, and I want to be able to hang it up for the patriotic season of the summer. So, yeah, I would like to work on that some more this year, especially with it being the 250th? This year? something like that. Okay. Up next, that I started in 2022. Up next is Silver Creek Sampler's Greatest Catch, and I started this for my husband. It says, "You are my greatest catch," and I started this in this year, but I am doing my own conversion. I am doing a mix of, I had 2 of the called for. I'm doing a mix of Gentle Arts, Weeks Dye Works, Roxy Floss, Classic Colorworks, Victorian Motto, Forbidden Fiber Co., and DMC. Just doing a mix of everything. I just went based off of the cover photo. And I'm stitching it on, I think it is 16, either 16 or 18 count oatmeal. And that is a measly start. I need to get working on this. We moved last summer, and I have an idea for our bedroom, which is doing kind of like a gallery wall of pictures of us, and also cross stitches that I've done for our anniversary and all that. So I'd like to get more of, that's the only one I'm working on, I believe, for that right now. So I'd like to get more done. Okay, next. This one I definitely think I'm gonna UFO, because I never want to work on it. This is Citrus by, or Oranges, or whatever you want to call it, by the Huga Stitcher on Etsy. And I'm stitching it on like an ice blue. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry, my husband called. I needed to take it. But, yeah, I think I'm going to UFO this because I never want to work on it. I didn't realize how many projects I wanted to UFO in here, or how many I'm just now realizing, yeah, I don't ever want to work on those ever again. Okay, next up was a new start this year. I saw Jordan, the Tattooed Stitcher, start it, and when she was starting it, it was when Charlie Kirk got shot in September, and the day before that happened, my grandpa passed away, and so it felt fitting for me to start it as well, so I immediately ordered it. And yeah, so this is Seeking Refuge by the Scarlet House, and I am doing my own conversion, but I tried to keep it pretty similar to the cover photo. And I'm doing mostly DMC. And I'm stitching it on 18 count Coffee Tea Dyed Ada by myself. And that's where I'm at. I would like to pull this out again soon. I would like to do a little bit of brickwork and then work on like some of the surrounding things, ideally. I don't know if that will actually happen, but that's what the hope is. Okay. Next up is my oldest WIP. And this one I would like to get done soon, but I have not been enjoying stitching from a tablet, and so I've been focusing on paper charts. But this is Maui by Awesome Pattern Studio, and I am stitching it on 16 count Wren by Picture This Plus, and I'm using the called for DMC. And I think I have the cover photo. That's what it will look like. This is where I'm at. I would like to knock this off the list though. I have a few more projects that aren't full coverage, and then I will do all of my full coverage at the end. So next is my second oldest project. Let me pull it up, and I am altering this one before I finish it, or before I pause. What is that? I am altering it, so I am not going to be stitching the whole thing. This is Little Women by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, and it was put on by the Stitching Book Club, and that is what it would look like. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop after the house. And I am stitching it on 14 count oatmeal Aida with the called for DMC. And I have worked on this year because I would like to get it done. And that is where we are at. Okay. Up next is one from 2022. It is by Modern Folk Embroidery, and it's a collaboration between Modern Folk Embroidery, Evertote, and Roxy Floss. And it is the Moonshine Cabin. And I have all of the Roxy Floss colors, but I am stitching it on 16 count Midnight Gray Aida. I haven't worked on this in a while. I think I might put this in a nerd hoop, and then I might be more inclined to finish it. I think I really just get caught up on houses, I think. So there, you can see that a little bit better now. But yeah. And then my last project that is not, oh, no, this one, and then I have one more, so I'm gonna have to go find it. Yeah, anyway, this is from Emma Congdon's Cross Stitch for the Earth book. Elizabeth from Frizzy Lizzy Stitches was working on this, and a lot of people started it around the same time. This is design 1, and I just call it Unplug and Go Outside. And this is what it looks like. And I think it's beautiful. The thing that I have found hard is working on it from this book. There's not a black and white version of it. And that's kind of hard for me because I like to mark off where I'm at. But I am stitching it on 14 count white, and that's where I'm at. It's very intricate, which I think is why it makes it hard for me when there's not a black and white version. But it's beautiful, and I would like to finish it one day. I think I'm kind of trying to go color by color as I go up. But yeah, we'll see. I do still love it. I don't know the last time I worked on it, but I'm not gonna get rid of that one yet. Just yet. Okay. Then I have a new start that I literally just started a couple of nights ago. And this is kind of my own project, but not. I know that there are a few people doing this, but I am taking the Hello from Liz Matthews Days of Christmas patterns, and I am stitching them all together on one piece of fabric. And I saw someone finish it last month maybe, and I liked how they did it without having the I don't know how to say it. Anyway, they just did a straight border all the way around, and I liked that a lot. And so I'm stitching it on 28 count. I'm pretty sure it's 28 count. 28 or 25 count Lugana easy count so that I can count it a little bit better. And I'm using the called for DMC, and this is where my start is at. I'm just starting on the border. And then I think I'll reward myself with, once I get maybe, what's it called? Once I get 2 borders done, then I might start working in the middle. Hopefully you didn't see too much of that pattern. Okay, so there's that. I have one more project that I need to grab, and then I will show you my full coverage pieces. Okay. It was right behind me the whole time. This is Country Cottage Needleworks Home for the Holidays. That's what it will look like when it's all done. I feel like I say this all the time. My family makes homemade gingerbread houses. Like, we bake the gingerbread and everything. And anyway, so gingerbready things I love. And this, I'm stitching it on 14 count light green Aida that I just got from Michael's or Joann's. And that is where I'm at. Started doing a little bit of the snow and roof. I would like to get all of the white done, ideally. And then just do fill in. I should probably do the border before I don't ever want to do another border. Okay, so those are it. That is it for my non-full coverage. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 full coverage projects. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. First up, let's do this one because it's festive. First up is Minnie the Enchanted Christmas Reindeer by Donna Gelsinger. I am stitching it on 28 count pewter Lugana. And that's what the cover photo looks like. And this is where I'm at. Like I mentioned, I have not been feeling like stitching from a screen, so I haven't touched my full coverage ones in a while. I would like to have this done though. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm using the called for DMC, which I'm not very organized with it. I feel like I should change that. Okay. Next. By Charting Creations is Be Still My Soul. Artwork by Mark Missman. And I started in the bottom left corner with the sand. And that's where we're at with that. I'm stitching it on, I believe, 28 count white. It's either 25 or 28 count white. And it is, I believe I'm doing 2/1 half cross. On my Minnie the Enchanted Christmas Reindeer, I'm doing 1/1 full cross, and that takes a lot more time. So I'm slowly learning how I like to stitch full coverage pieces. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, this one I would really like to get done. I would like to put it in our half bath. This is from Artisy. And let me see if I can find it. Artwork by Hilary Mays, and it is Mini Red Door. And when I started this, I had just finished Augusta National for my husband, and I was really sick of greens and blues and like sand colors. And so I told myself that I was only going to do it if I could start in the middle. The mini actually works. 18 count is 8.5 by 11.5 inches. I had the perfect amount of fabric. So I am doing 18 count, and I'm doing 2/1 full cross on Ada. And yeah, that's where we're at. I am sorry that I don't have like stats on those. I do know that I'm on Minnie the Enchanted Christmas Reindeer. I'm not even up to 15%, and I think I'm barely at 1% for the other two. So those will not be finished for a very long time. But those are all of my WIPs. So I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you would like to see a finish parade, I would be more than happy to show you my finishes and or fully finishes from this year. Yeah, just let me know. And then I will see you at the end of January, most likely, for my December and January update, because I won't have time to film a regular floss tube update before we go out of town. So, yeah, that is going to be all. I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Or if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a wonderful winter season and winter break. And a happy holidays for whatever you celebrate. And yeah, I hope you remember that someone always needs you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.